Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Joe Knows the 2021 NFL Draft Class. And right now, we're going to be covering your Arizona Cardinals. You guys did really well. Man, I love the team that you are building. Me, myself, I'm a Giants fan. I've got no ill will against the Cardinals. I don't have any ill will against any team. I don't care. Just I want my team to go win and get off the field and go play the next game. That's all. That's all I care about. I don't talk trash or anything. As an outside observer, I love what you are building out there in the desert. And this is the part of the episode where I kind of like make an emotional connection. I'm a very nostalgic person. I love the NFL, so I have respect for every single team, every single fan base. All of you, you're a fan of your own team, their history, the great wins, the devastating losses. We've all been there, and that creates your fandom. And you bring your fandom to the NFL, and it's to all of us. And we talk football. I love talking football. So I've got respect for everyone who loves the game of football, and they bring their passion, their fandom, and I love that. And that's what I'm hoping to cultivate over here with this video series is just love for the NFL and respect for your team and just an optimism for for what's going on with each team's organization. But listen, Arizona, I actually freshman year out of high school, I went to the University of Arizona. I wasn't ready for school. I only stayed there for a year. I just wasn't ready to be a good college student. I did eventually get my degree, but not in Arizona. But I loved it out there. University of Arizona in Tucson was beautiful, but just Arizona just is as a state is got to be the most beautiful state in the country. Kind of neck and neck, I guess, maybe with Utah, because that's beautiful too, and California is gorgeous as well. And I love Montana. I love that whole area of the country. But Arizona is beautiful. There's a huge place in my heart for it. Absolutely love it. Cardinals are a good organization. The past 20 years, it's funny. I grew up in the 80s, and for a long time the Cardinals were just a doormat. To be honest, I'm not making fun. I'm just honest observation. For a long time, they were a doormat. But for like the past 15 years, they've been a solid organization. And you guys are putting together a really, really super talented and athletic team. And I'll tell you, I wouldn't be surprised at all if you didn't take a huge leap forward this year. I think you've got enough talent to do it. It might take until next year because you have good young talent that still needs more seasoning. But man, being led by your young quarterback, dynamic quarterback in Kyler Murray, I love the talent that you've been accumulating. And you got DeAndre Hopkins last year. You also drafted Isaiah Simmons last year. It's my understanding he didn't play well last year and he looked lost, at least for a lot of the time. I don't know about by the end of the year. Maybe he was looking better. I'm just not sure. I just know he did have a rough time last year. I 100% believe in that guy. Don't give up on him. He is going to be a hit. He's going to be a Pro Bowler. This guy is awesome. I would have loved him on my Giants last year. I love Isaiah Simmons. Don't give up on him. You had a good draft class. And before we get into this draft class for 2021, real quick, we have a new website, toiletsandtitles.com. It launched on August 1st. Check it out. That's where we've got like 12 contributors to Toilets and Titles. I'm obviously one of them. This is Joe Knows. We've got all of our videos up there. We've got articles. We're adding more and more articles all the time. They're going to be more and more. And there's tons of fantasy football content as well. We originally started off as a fantasy football content channel or network. I like to call us a network. We're definitely doing more and more NFL content now, especially with the NFL season coming upon us. But it's a lot of fun. It's a great website. We make it fun for you, the viewer, the subscriber, just the lover of football. You're going to like it. Check it out. Trust me on that. Where you can find the show, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Podbean, Spotify, Facebook. Bam, where we've got 2 pages, baby. We've got Toilets and Titles, and we've got One at Family Breaks, which is our Facebook page dedicated to the trading of sports memorabilia, which is always a lot of fun. Very cool. Check it out. And don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. And if you're on Apple, if you can give us a 5-star Apple review, we'd greatly appreciate it. And if you're not on Apple, you got 30 seconds to spare sitting on the toilet or something like that, doing your thing, hey, just take a little time, be nice, and give us a 5-star Apple review. You're the best. Okay. And last but not least, if you can go to patreon.com/toilets and titles, you'll learn how you can further support this show. I'm excited. I'm amped up, so I'm talking real quick, and that's when I usually start stammering and stuttering. But I really want to talk about Arizona. I love your team. I love the way you're building. Oh, I'm so excited for you guys. Anyway, you had 7 picks overall, and you made them count. You were missing. You didn't have like I think maybe a 3rd-round pick and a 5th-round pick, something like that. It didn't matter. Your first 2 picks were friggin' home runs, and the picks that you had, like in the ladder, then made in ladder rounds, These guys are great potential. I'm not saying they're all going to be studs or anything, but there's some potential for studs there. And just the other potential is just like really good depth pieces, like really good, backups. I thought you guys did so well. I'm tempted to give you an honorable mention for this draft. I think this is such a deep draft class that every team walked away with a good amount of talent, in my opinion. I thought some teams did, a handful of teams did, I think, better than most. And that's off the top of my head so far, the teams that I've reviewed in no specific order: Baltimore Ravens, Carolina Panthers, and the Cleveland Browns. I'm almost tempted to give Arizona, that level, that respect. Not yet. I don't think so. I think they were just a notch below that, but man, you were real close. I love the talent that you got with just the 7 picks that you had. And we're going to start off with Xavier Collins, your first pick in this draft, 16th overall in the first round, outside linebacker out of Tulsa. What do I love about this guy? This guy is old school linebacker. He would have fit perfectly with the New York Giants in the 1980s. This guy is 6'5", 259 pounds. He's got a nice blend of size, height, speed, range. He plays the run. He covers passes. He does it all. And this guy can get to the quarterback. I love this guy. I don't know what Arizona's planning. I assume he's just going to wind up being outside linebacker, which is perfect enough. But this guy's got the size where if you wanted to mix up your defense a little bit, he can play some defensive end, I think. This guy is an all-around player. I would have loved if the Giants, they had traded back to the 20th spot. If he had fallen to number 20 for them, I would have loved if they took him. Loved him. I love this guy. Home run pick. Love him. Another pick I love. Your second pick, second round, the 17th pick overall in the second round, wide receiver out of Purdue, Rondale Moore. Soon enough, we're all going to want more, because this guy is going to be awesome as long as he's healthy. And that's just been a problem with him in college. And unfortunately, once you start getting injured in college, it doesn't really tend to end in the NFL. But let's hope. But anyway, when this guy's on the field, he is as explosive as anyone. He is awesome. I remember when this pick came down, I was waiting, I think, for my Giants to pick in the second round. And I remember when this pick came down, and I was just like, hot dang, this is a perfect pick, because it was a perfect pairing with DeAndre Hopkins. You guys, you're putting together a special offense here with your dynamic young quarterback. You're a young veteran in DeAndre Hopkins. He's not that old at all. And now you got Rondale Moore. My gosh, don't be surprised. I would say this year, because Rondale Moore he's a rookie. I still think he's going to have a good rookie year. I'd say next year, don't be surprised if you've got two wide receivers who are both putting up well over 1,000 yards each. If Moore stays healthy, and he obviously gets experience this year, if he could stay healthy next year and he's got some experience under his belt, don't be surprised if you have two wide receivers in Hopkins and Moore who both have well over 1,000 yards each, just like the Giants did in 2011 with Victor Cruz and Hakeem Nicks. I think Cruz had something like 1,400 yards, maybe 1,500, and Hakeem Nicks had like almost 1,200 yards. That's what you can potentially have with these guys. And holy cow, what a perfect pairing. This guy is an explosive slot receiver, and he's valuable in the return game too. So this guy's giving you versatility all over the place. He finds the holes in the zones. He's small. He's really small. He's 5'7", 181 pounds, but he plays bigger than that because this guy is solidly built. His low center of gravity makes it difficult for him to go down on the first tackle unless you're getting a clear tackle on this guy. It's not easy. You're not going to bring, because of his size. Don't think that you're going to be bringing him down just like with an arm tackle. That's not really going to happen with this guy. He's not easy to bowl over. He's got great balance, and he a lot of times with his explosiveness, he makes the first defenders miss, makes them look silly. He's sending them off to Sillyville, I'm telling you. And then like I said, he can break tackles. This guy, what you can see with this guy, I got to slow down. I'm just so excited by your team and this draft class. What this guy, he's going to be phenomenal, man. Just stay healthy, Rondale. We want more and more. Stay healthy, baby. We want to see what you can do on the field. Anyway, your next pick. So you didn't have a third-round pick, but the 31st pick overall in the fourth round, you had Marco Wilson, cornerback out of Florida. Nice pick here in the fourth round. The guy's 6 foot, 191 pounds. Pretty good size for a cornerback. The height's good. A little on. Actually, no, I'm not even going to say a little light for a cornerback. Really, no. He's like a good size for a cornerback. This guy's versatile. All right. This was a nice pick in the fourth round because he's not really exceptional on the outside or the in, but I think he's solid at both. And I don't know if he's going to be like a CB number 2 for you. I think he could wind up being that, a CB number 2 on the outside. But I think this guy's strength, what he's going to bring to your team, is really valuable depth on both the outside and the inside. And he is explosive. He's got really blazing top end speed, and he's known to be a great leaper. This guy is also, unfortunately, he's known to have like shorter arms. So apparently, he's a lot of times he's in a position to make an interception or tip a ball, and the shorter arms kind of like hurts him in that regard. But this guy's got a lot of talent. He's got a lot of intangibles. And you know what? For fourth round pick, I thought he did really well over here. Moving on to the sixth round. So he didn't have a fifth round pick, but he had 2 sixth round picks and 2 seventh round picks. This guy, he took him with the 26th pick overall in the 6th round, defensive end out of Duke, Victor Dimukeji, I think is how it's pronounced. So I forgot. It's been a while since I listened to how it was pronounced, but I was very familiar with this guy. He is the type of guy I was looking for. I had my eye on for the Giants in the latter rounds. This guy's got real potential to be more than a backup, to be more than just a depth piece. I think he's got real potential for down the road to being a key starter for you. I'm not saying he will, but I'm saying I think it's legitimate to say that's his ceiling. It's not pie in the sky stuff. He comes from Duke, which is it's not a great program, but they play in the SEC and they go up against the big boys. And they don't really tend to hold their own against the big boys like Alabama, but the other teams like Notre Dame, the teams that are usually ranked like 12, 15, something like that, or 20, Duke can give them a hard time. They actually steal some wins there. They tend to beat up on the other teams that are like not as good as Duke is, and that's how they usually get their wins. But they put some talent out there now over the past few years. They're putting more and more talent. So keep an eye on this guy. He's 6'2", 262 pounds. That's pretty good size for defensive end / edge. And this guy sets the edge. He's good against the run. So he's setting the edge against the run on the outside, and he can get to the QB. All right. So this guy has what you want in a defensive end. He can play the run, and he's got some speed. He can cover the outside. He can cover the edge, and he gets to the quarterback. So that's what you want. This guy's got. You give him a little time, put him in the cooking pot to simmer a little bit, give him some seasoning, and let this guy get some good coaching and see how he develops. I say, like I said in the blue bar, keep an eye on this guy. This guy's ceiling, I think, is higher than a lot of people think it is. And then moving on to your second pick in the 6th round, the 39th pick overall in that round, Tay Gowan, another cornerback. And this guy is from the University of Central Florida. He's from UCF. I like UCF talent. I think really good athletes coming out of that program. And we're seeing more and more players coming out of UCF now every single year in every single draft class. This guy's 6'1", 186 pounds, pretty good size for a cornerback. This guy's a press cover. He's a pressman. He's a press man. And so his strength is playing one-on-one with wide receiver. I like that. That's the type of secondary game that I like. But don't get me wrong. A good zone cornerback, in a good zone scheme on a team is fine by me. But I like press coverage. That's what this guy's strength is. He's got length. He's got top end speed. And he's got nice ball skills. So he's a good ball tracker. So I thought for 6th round pick, damn, you're getting really good value here. This guy's not a joke. He's a guy. I don't know if he's ever going to be a starter. Could wind up being that. Could wind up being down the road being like a CB2. But I think he's another guy who, like, even if he's not a starter, we all need depth, especially in the secondary in this pass-heavy league that we are today. And I think Tay Gowan, this is a guy whose name I was very familiar with as well. I'm not trying to pretend that I knew every player. That wouldn't be true. All right. Tay Gowan is another guy that I had my eye on in the later rounds. The Giants wanted to go that route for another cornerback. And so I'd been eyeballing him. So I was familiar with him and I was familiar with his game. And I think he did well here, guys. I thought the 6th round was a good value pick for this guy. Okay, moving on to your first pick in the 7th round, the 16th pick overall in that round, James Wiggins, safety out of Cincinnati, the Bearcats, baby. 5'11", 209 pounds. Pretty nice size for a safety. That's fair size. This he's got decent size. He's explosive and he tracks the ball well. He had 4 interceptions in 2018. And I know that was 2 years ago. This guy has had his share of interceptions throughout college, but I point out the 4 because that is pretty exceptional for safety. This guy's got ball hawking skills. So I think that's really good. I like what you got here. You added 3 picks to the secondary in this draft, guys. I like that. And I think the guys that you got, 2 cornerbacks and a safety, I think you got really good talent. I think you're adding really good depth to your secondary. You're adding a lot of good potential. I think some of these guys could wind up being pretty good starters, but if not, I think you're adding some really good potential for depth, good backups here. And your last pick overall, I like this guy. This is a guy I definitely had on my eye on for my Giants if they were going to take an offensive lineman late in the round. Michael Minnit, I think is how it's pronounced. You know what? I never heard how it was pronounced, but this is a name I was reading up on a lot for months leading up to the draft. It was when I was, just looking at players who my Giants could pick like in the latter rounds. This is a guy who I definitely had an eye on. I love the way this guy reads. I've never watched film on him. I don't watch too much film. I watch some film, some YouTube videos, that is when I say film. Uh, this guy, always liked how this guy read. He's a two-time team captain. That does not guarantee success on the football field, but that's a great thing to start from. This is a guy is a leader. He's someone that other young players can come to. This type of guy that comes in early, leaves late, studies film, smart guy. Penn State produces more and more every single year dynamic players, dynamic, uh, um, just dynamic players. And I'm not saying Minnitt's going to be a dynamic player, but they're contributing more and more players, more and more good players to the NFL every single year. And I think you got a possible steal here. I really think so. Give him a little time. I think you got some. You might have gotten a steal with the center here. The knock against him is the short arms, and that does mean something, unfortunately, because listen, you're going up against big ass defensive tackles with wide bodies, long arms, and they're getting their hands on you first, and they're already coming at you. They're already being the aggressor, leaning into you, taking their weight against you, and they're getting their hands on you first. That's not easy to recover from. But this guy is smart and he's a technician. That counts for a lot. He's also known to be a fighter. Like he doesn't give up. He's a little, I would say he's a little on the smaller side, but in terms of the short arms thing, he's got the T-Rex arms going on. The guy still fights. He's a fighter. He doesn't give up, and he apparently combo blocks really well. That's something I've consistently seen on scouting reports for this guy, is that he combo blocks well. So, maybe one-on-one with a nose tackle, he's going to have a difficult time. But you have him pairing up with a guard. They're taking a nose tackle on at the same time. He does it really well, and I like his value here in the seventh round. I thought he could have went higher than this, and I like his potential a lot. I do think his ceiling, and I don't try to be pie in the sky here when I give what I think someone's ceiling can be. I think he can be a starting center down the road. I'm not saying count on it. I think he'll probably just wind up being good depth. I think this guy could wind up being a starting center for you down the road. That's just what I think its potential is real. Anyway, that's the last pick of this draft, you guys. I thought did such a great job. Especially considering that you're missing some of your mid-round picks. I thought the value that you had, after the first two picks were home runs. The rest of the picks that you had, I thought were real good value and real good potential, guys. But anyway, before you go, don't forget to follow me and my friends here at 12 to Titles, all the contributors. There's like 12 of us now. Here are the Twitter handles. Give us a follow. They're a great bunch of guys. We're always pumping out new material, and I think we're a lot of fun to follow too. I think we're fun and we're funny. And I think you want to follow us, you should. And last but not least, just a reminder, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, hit that bell, and give us a 5-star Apple review. It all helps. It helps us out a lot. Really appreciate it. So anyway, that wraps up the review of the Arizona Cardinals. I had a great time. I am so excited for your team. Once again, I just can't say it enough. You guys are exciting. You're not just getting good players, you're getting good, exciting players, athletic talent. Man, you guys are going to be fearsome. If not this year, by next year, you are going to be fearsome. You're going to take the NFL by storm. I have no doubt. Anyway, that's a wrap, everyone. Peace. I love you. I'll be back with another video soon. Arizona Cardinals, I'm really proud of you. You guys are building it well. Take care, everyone.